The hate you give little infants fucks everything. Words to live by. So The Hate You Give is directed by George Tillman Jr. and stars Amandla Stenberg as Star Carter, who is a young African-American woman living in a prominently African-American society when she's out with a friend of hers following a party when he is shot by a white police officer. This causes a change and rip within her, which then causes her to rise up, to stand up for what's right, and speak for Khalil, the guy who got shot, and actually speak for him to make sure that these rights and the equality that is desperately needed is being brought to light. I apologise for that opening description, that was really terrible, but that's what happens when you record a video at 9 PM at night after a long week of work and your brain is frazzled. Now, I was really looking forward to this movie because I really love the trailer. The trailer completely caught my attention. The trailer made me tear up every single time. There's one particular line that in the trailer really just spoke to me, and it did so in the movie as well when it shows up, and it's when the character of Star and her father, they're having a conversation, and he says to her, "Whenever you're ready to talk, you talk. Don't you let anybody make you be quiet." I don't know what it is about that line, but it really gets to me, it really speaks to me, and just because of that line alone and the trailer overall, I was really looking forward to this movie. Amandla Stenberg is incredible in every sense of the word in this film. She is just brilliant. This has got to be one of the best young actresses working today. I haven't seen her in anything else. Like, I know she made a brief appearance in the first Hunger Games movie. I think she did The Darkest Mind, which came out a couple months ago. I think she did that as well. But this is my first personal experience with her, and she blew my socks off. She is wonderful in this film. So much range, so much emotion, so much gravitas to this role. I think she was fantastic, amazing casting. And what I love about her role specifically is at first she's, you know, very much your typical teenage high schooler, you know, that's what she is. But then as soon as she goes through this tragic event of her friend being shot, there's a change. Like, she just completely flips 180. And you really get to see how this event just completely changes her, changes who she is, and changes her for the future. And even within that, after she's changed, there are so many different rifts that she goes through, so many different emotional highs, that you really get to see her range just fully on display. So impressed with Amandla Stenberg. I cannot wait to see what she does next. She is a true treasure. She has got an incredible career ahead of her. She is amazing in this movie. She almost stole the entire film for me. I'm not quite sure if Amandla Stenberg is going to get Oscar attention or any kind of award attention, but she definitely should. She shouldn't be discounted because she's a young actress. She should definitely be in the ranks because I think she was fantastic. I really hope she's in the conversation because she deserves so much attention for this. And I think the same can be said about Russell Hornsby. He was also fantastic in this movie, playing Star's father. He was really inspirational, he was strong, he was well-minded, and he was able just to present a really well-rounded character. And I think his character overall has really big significance in the film because he has certain links to other characters who come in and out, and there's quite a lot of tension going on between him and some other characters, and it leads into more drama that goes on in the film. Really well handled, and Russell Hornsby overall was amazing in this movie too. The emotion is really high in this movie. Personally, I teared up in like 4 separate occasions in this film. There are a lot of moments that really just get your emotions going, get the tears start flowing through your eyes, and you start thinking, okay, welling up here. And there's a lot of moments like that. Like I said, I think there's like 4 separate occasions that I can remember where I started to get like that, started to weep a little bit. And, you know, I think that, you know, personally for someone like me, I mean, I'm quite an emotional person anyway when it comes to films. Like, I will kind of tear up and cry at a lot of things. So that, you know, maybe I'm not the best person when it comes to this kind of thing, but you know, the fact that it happened 4 times I think is definitely a testament that at least one of those would happen to you. And also on a personal standpoint, for me, any movie or TV show, video game, whatever it might be, if it surrounds an uprising, standing up for what's right, that's something that speaks to me. That's something I relate to. So seeing that this movie comes from that angle and was able to deliver emotional moments surrounding that concept, that was able to speak to me on a different kind of level. And what I really respect about this film is that it was able to show a balanced argument. I was expecting this film to fully go on the right, you know, on the right side of things, where it says Amandla Stenberg is correct, the white police officer was wrong. And I'm not saying the white police officer was correct. Obviously, he did shoot an innocent guy. But all that being said, there is a particular character in this film who is Star's uncle, and he actually states something very, very relevant, which I won't spoil here. You know, no spoilers here. But you know, he says something that is actually a really good point that not necessarily justifies the cop's actions, but definitely gives some levity to it and definitely shows why he did what he did. And even beyond that, there's another character in the film, one of Star's friends, who also brings in her point of view. And I really appreciated that, because this movie, you know, it's not black and white here. It's very much very shades of grey. And there are so many different angles, different points that people are coming from, where people are saying, yeah, I mean, what he did was wrong, but did you think about this, or did you think about that? Like, it's very, very balanced, and I have a very high respect to the movie because of this decision. I was expecting it to be very one-sided, but it's really not like that. Now, despite the praise, I do have a couple of negatives for this film. For one, the opening 15 minutes I found to be incredibly cringy. Like, the first 15-20 minutes or so, when the movie is basically just establishing Star's character, is establishing her in this high school life, it's very typical high school drama, and it's kind of stuff that I really don't like, and I kind of thought, oh no, the whole movie's not going to be like this, is it? Luckily it's not. If you're going to see this movie and you're kind of being turned off within the first 15 or so minutes, just stick through it and it will get better. It'll get incredible. You just need to wait through those first 15 minutes or so. They are incredibly cringy. It was kind of, you know, I was kind of squinting my eyes and curling my toes with a couple of lines of dialogue. It's not like the most horrendous thing, but like I say, if you're able to put up with that, you will be greatly rewarded. Also, Anthony Mackie's in this movie, and I just didn't buy him in this role. I thought he was just... because Anthony Mackie is typically the type of actor who is very fun and a very light screen presence, whereas in this film, he plays a lot more of an evil character. And also, his character didn't really work for me. I just didn't really like... he wasn't established enough to the point where I was like, oh yeah, that completely justifies his actions. I feel like he was a bit over the top and a little bit cartoony in this, and I felt, like I say, it didn't feel real to me. I didn't buy him, and especially with Anthony Mackie in that role, I think it was a little bit miscast. Overall, though, I really enjoyed The Hate U Give. This movie was really emotional, really relevant to the times, and this film really delivers an emotional gut punch that I wasn't personally expecting. While there are a couple of negatives, like I say, a couple of characters which are a bit wishy-washy, and there's also the opening 15 minutes, which I found incredibly cringy, there are some really good stuff within here, and this is a really relevant movie, a very timely movie, and something that I definitely feel is worth your time. If you have not seen this film, definitely make sure you go out and check it out, because I know this review is a little bit late, so maybe a lot of you have already seen it already. I was quite late with this film, but I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to see it. I thought it was great. I don't know where it's going to stand when it comes to my overall top 10 of the year, but I really think this is a true contender, and like I say, Amandla Stenberg and Russell Hornsby are true standouts in this film, and I think this was a great movie overall, and I really enjoyed it. So did you guys see The Hate U Give? If you did, make sure you tell me all your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let's have a conversation about this movie in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more movie reviews from me, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again in my next video.
When you're ready to talk, you talk. Don't ever let nobody make you be quiet.